right, today is the day, April 9th. Obviously, we're going to be ranking every single foundation 1 to 15 that I reviewed in this past 15 Days of Foundation series, season 5. I'm going to have the playlist listed down below so you can go back and watch the videos. This video is where I rank all of them after trying them for weeks now. I have been filming these videos for longer than the start of 15 days. So I've been trying these foundations in different ways, either mixed together, mixed in with different foundations, tried with different primer, setting sprays, whatever it is. I just kind of go based on how the foundation is and what I think will be good with it. I take a bunch of notes. I have like pages of notes here of different combinations I've tried, and I go in and rank all of them 1 to 15, best to worst. So the point of this video is not to give you the specific details about each foundation, since I have full reviews on each one, which every single one is linked down below along with the foundations. If I did all of that info in this video would literally be like an hour and a half long. This is solely to rank the foundations and yeah, just wrap it all up. But before we get into the ranking and talk all about foundation, I get to finally share with you guys how much we raised for Project Beauty Share and also what the winning shelter and the winning city is. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then watch the announcement video. It talks all about the kind of charity project that was going along with this whole series. So our goal was to raise $20,000 for Project Beauty Share. Not gonna lie, there was definitely a few points throughout the series where I was wondering if I just set that goal way too high. But as usual, you guys came through. I'm gonna start crying. Also PMSing right now. I honestly feel so grateful for you guys and just the community that we have here, and that there are so many of you, literally thousands and thousands of you, who are willing to just stand behind something like this and come together. So you guys in the last few days just exceeded the goal. So the total amount raised for Beauty Wishes 2018 was $21,802.92. And I wanted to say a huge shout out to someone who commented named Deanna, because we were still a few thousand behind, and she left a comment saying if everyone donates $1 through PayPal to Project Beauty Share on their website, you can donate directly to them, then we will hit our goal. And that is what really took it to the next level, and that's what made us exceed the goal. So many of you, thousands of you, donated $1, $5, whatever you could through PayPal, and I just think that that's a prime example of no matter what the cause, no matter what you're doing, even if you feel like what you're doing is really insignificant and that $1 is just $1, or 10 minutes of your time or an hour of your time is just that and it's not really making a difference. This is how things happen, and this is how things can change. When thousands of people come together just giving the tiniest amount or giving what they can. Whether it's with a project like this or whether if it's just in your own communities, just know that even when something feels so small and so insignificant and you feel like you're not really doing anything, it's the power of numbers. When tons of people come together to do something like that, that is what makes a difference. So you guys should be really proud of yourselves. Oh God. Why am I filming this when I'm PMSing? Okay, so now we're gonna announce the winning shelter and the winning city. So there was a voting competition going on between 5 different shelters across the US that we partnered with. And it was so cool seeing all the votes come in every day. I think the total was over 38,000 votes during the whole 15 days, and it was super close between LA and Chicago, especially in the last few days. It was neck and neck. There were some points throughout the day I would check and they would literally be 2 or 3 votes away. But the winning city and the winning shelter is Los Angeles. So congratulations to Good Shepherd Center in Los Angeles for winning the $5,000 bonus prize. Good Shepherd Center is doing some amazing work for homelessness and women in the Los Angeles area. So we're super excited that the $5,000 is going to them. And also pretty wild, Mark Wahlberg is a big supporter of Good Shepherd Center, and he actually tweeted and posted on Facebook about this whole campaign, which was whoa, mind-blowing. So thanks, Mark. He might have tipped the LA votes up a little bit, but so LA is the winning city. That's where I'll be doing the meetup. I can't wait to meet you guys in LA. The meetup date is Saturday, April 28th. So just in a few weeks, I'm gonna be flying to LA. We already have our tickets and everything, so it's happening. Since we only had literally about a week to find a meetup location and figure everything out, we're still working on it. So the meetup time and location is going to be coming in a future video. So if you're in the LA area, just stay tuned for that. I'm obviously going to be posting on every social media platform too when I know the location. And we'll also have an Eventbrite page coming with all the details. The meetup is entirely free. All of that information will be coming since we're working on the location. We're 99% sure when it's going to come through. Crossing our fingers because this is a very quick turnaround to make a meetup happen in a different city. I cannot wait to hug you guys and meet you guys and hang out. It's gonna be a good time. And also, surprise, my dad, which I know most of you are probably more excited to meet my dad than me. My dad will be there. My mom will also be there. If you haven't seen the dad tag or mom tag, my dad and I have like 10 videos together at this point, and he's like the favorite of my whole channel. He needs to just make his own channel at this point, honestly. But I know you guys love my dad, and my dad is gonna be at the meetup in Los Angeles. So if you want to meet my dad, that is the day. Also, the Project Beauty Share team will obviously be there, so you guys can meet Julie and you can just thank them for all the amazing work that they're doing. And I'm going to be vlogging that whole weekend, so for those of you who are in other cities, you'll still be able to kind of see how all of this goes down. We're going to be meeting the Good Shepherds team, and I'll be vlogging the meetup and everything, so that vlog will be coming. But just huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for everyone who participated in this whole thing and is making it happen. And again, every shelter that participated did receive thousands of products that were donated from the brands participating. So huge thank you again to Maybelline, Garnier, ColourPop, and Tampax, who donated 17,000 boxes of tampons. I think that's everything I had to tell you guys in that department. Okay, foundation time. So here we go with the ranking. If you're excited for this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can join the Bayrito family and subscribe. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I also have wrap-up videos for every past series, so if you want to know what my favorites were from past series, you can go watch the wrap-up videos and binge all the other videos. Just saying. There's playlists, so if you want to watch, you know the deal at this point. How many times can I say the same thing? So I'm going to first do all 15 swatches. You can see how they stack up against each other, and you can just get a feel for whether or not a shade might work for you if you're around my skin tone. So here we go, swatches. Okay, I literally have swatches going up my arm, like into my armpit right now. So I actually have 16 here because one of them I'm swatching a couple shades of because it's a new shade I picked up, so you guys can see it. But these are in no particular order because I didn't want to give away the order. These are just random. So first off, we have the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation in the shade 115 Ivory. Next over, we have the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in the shade 3.75. Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation in 081 Fair Ivory. L'Oreal True Match Lumi in the shade N12. The Cargo Bag Foundation in the shade 20. And it's interesting because as you can see, like one over here is way darker, but because of the undertone of this one, it is so orange and so peachy that I think that's why it looked so Oompa Loompa on me. But as far as like the depth of it, this one is actually darker. Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation in the lighter shade Fair. So these are the two of the same foundation. So these are both the Hourglass Illusion Hyaluronic Skin Tint in the shade Vanilla, which I reviewed, and then I did pick up the shade Shell. By the way, ignore my nails. I desperately need to paint them, sorry. Becca Aqualuminous in the lighter shade Porcelain. The Iliad True Skin Serum Foundation in the lighter shade Formentera. LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation in lighter shade Ivory. My arm is literally shaking right now. I'm trying to hold this mic up at the same time. This next one definitely looks the darkest out of all these. This is the No. 7 Lift and Illuminate Foundation in the shade Cool Vanilla. Next is Dior Forever Undercover in the lighter shade 10. Flower Beauty Light Illusion in the lighter shade L1. Cover FX Power Play in P20. And the Wet n Wild Cushion Foundation in the lighter shade 106A. Here are all those swatches, and my arm is about to fall off. All right, so my first few top ranked out of all 15 are ones that I love all of these, but there's the one, this number one just sticks out a little bit above the rest. So my number one ranked foundation from this series, season 5, pause this video and leave a comment down below which one you think it's gonna be. So my number one foundation is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. For multiple reasons, this one looks beautiful on its own. So this one, my only critique is that I just wish they had more shades. This shade isn't a perfect shade match for me. I can make it work, but it's not one that I love the way the shade is on its own for me. It's a little bit too dark and a little bit too yellow, but this foundation, the formula, if you have, I think especially dry skin, you're gonna love this. If you like luminous makeup, this one just sits so smoothly on your skin. It looks so glowy. It doesn't emphasize texture. Even when I had oily skin, I typically preferred that over like a matte foundation because that just tends to look more makeup-y. If you have oily skin, you can use different powders and products, primers underneath. You don't have to totally rule out doing makeup because your skin is oily. You can just add different products in to make it work. This Flower Beauty one is one that is pretty impossible to have a bad foundation combo with. Every combo I tried this with, I really enjoyed. My favorite one is what I'm wearing right now. I mixed the Flower Beauty Light Illusion with the Kevin Aucoin, the Sensual Skin Enhancer. I have the shade SX03 in this one. and this is what the shade looks like. This one I would say is more medium coverage on its own, so if you want to take it to the next level, add a little coverage, you can mix it in with something like this or Dermacol, something that's just really high coverage. I still have the glow coming through, but my s'morehead, more sound good right now, makes my forehead look nice and smooth because of the Flower Beauty in there, and it gives me the coverage, but it still looks radiant and pretty. Another combo I really enjoy with the Flower Beauty to give it more coverage is mixed in with the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. This is just a little sample that they sent in PR. I have the full one. I have a full video on this. But the shade Biscuit for me mixed in with this one is really nice, gives you that full coverage, and this one is very matte but not too heavy looking. So I feel like mixed in with this one, which is more gel-like and smoothing, these two together are just beautiful if you like more coverage and this one isn't quite enough coverage on its own for you. So I really like that combo. I definitely am going to keep wearing this combo together. The one thing which I forgot to mention is that this one does have a very sticky, tacky finish. So just keep that in mind if you're not into that. Maybe you wouldn't like this foundation, but it does have a very gel, tacky finish. So you do need to set wherever you're going to be putting like blush, bronzer, highlight on, or else it's just going to drag because it's so sticky. By the way, when I'm ranking all these, I'm not going into like the specific details about each foundation because I have full videos on each one. This is more just wrapping it up. I also love that this looks amazing throughout the day. It doesn't settle in, it doesn't cling anywhere. I feel like this would be a good one if you have more mature skin because of that. And I just find that it's really hard to make this one look bad. They made another foundation that was like Light Illusion Full Coverage Edition. Holy shitsies, game over. So foundation number 2 is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation. I think I would specifically recommend this one for normal to dry skin, probably more on the dry skin side. It literally just looks like skin. It does not look like you have makeup on top of your skin. It is smoothing. It is all the things I look for in a foundation. I wear the shade 106A Light Ivory, and it is a great shade match for me. This one I really enjoy because I can use it in different ways and make it kind of versatile. One of the ways when I was testing this out again that I really like using this is almost as like a foundation topper, where I'll just go in and after I have foundation on, I'll just put this on the center of my forehead or in the areas where I have a bit more texture and I just want to kind of smooth everything out, and it just gives it this flawless kind of radiant finish to whatever foundation you have underneath. So if you don't like cushion foundations for your whole face, but you have a lot of texture on your skin, you might like using this just in those areas to kind of smooth everything out. But I also really love it on its own. You can do one layer for lighter coverage. You can build it up to pretty good coverage. I do find though that I feel like it's already running out. When I go in and press my cushion in now, I really have to press it and do it a few times to get product on the cushion. So I feel like this is either drying out quickly or I'm just using a lot of it and I'm going to go through this really quickly. So that's my only downfall with this one. All right, so number 3, I actually thought was going to rank a bit higher. I thought it was going to be actually like 1 or 2, but I used this the most out of everything I tested again. I think I tried this the most in different ways on its own again. And this one, I just really feel like it depends on my skin that day, the primers, everything that I use. This one is just a little bit finicky. Let's say what it is. This is the Becca Aqualuminous Perfecting Foundation. I don't think this is for everyone. I think this is definitely more for dry skin. This is very luminous. It looks beautiful throughout the day. Like it holds up amazing on my skin throughout the day. Overall, I really love this one. I just feel like I haven't quite found an exact combo of things that I'm like, holy shitsies. But I know I can get it there. I had this on the other day for like 18 hours or something insane like that, like from when I woke up and then I went out at night and didn't get home till late, and I had this on mixed in with the Flower Beauty Light Illusion and it looked really pretty, held up amazing the whole day. So I do like the lasting power of this one for me on dry skin. I just haven't found my like exact way I love this, so I'll definitely update you guys. All right, so number 4, I really want to love this one, and I do like this one, but I'm not absolutely in love with it. This is the Hourglass Illusion Hyaluronic Skin Tint. I did purchase the shade Shell, like I said I was gonna, the shade Up, because Vanilla was way too pink on my skin tone, and Shell is a lot better, but I do have to mix these two, so Shell still isn't a perfect shade. The only thing I don't love about this is how it sits on my forehead. So that could just be my skin. It almost looks like it just kind of sits on top of my skin on my forehead, which I don't like. And it does that mixed in with other foundations too. I have a feeling that this would look really pretty on a lot of people's skin. So just keep in mind, like I always say, everyone has different skin issues. Everyone has different skin. Products sit way differently on different people. So this one might be one that looks amazing on your skin. On my skin, it is almost there. I just can't make it look the way I want it to. So like usual in these ranking videos, I feel like there's always a line where I'm like, okay, these are the ones that were pretty good or great. Those are above the line, and now we're kind of going in the middle area. You'll see. So number 5 honestly shocks me that it's this high because I remember trying this foundation years ago and I hated it on my oilier skin. This is the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth Foundation. So I definitely think I would only recommend this for dry skin because I know this is just a hot mess on oily skin, and I also don't like the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. That's always looked so bad on my skin, but this one actually looks very smoothing and just kind of healthy. The only thing I don't like about this is that I feel like it just kind of slides around. It has a very interesting formula. It feels like almost like butter. Like it's just a little bit too slick, I guess you could say. Like I wish there was a little bit more of like a gel to it so you felt like your foundation wasn't gonna slide around. This one I don't like enough to where if I had all these foundations sitting on my table and I was reaching for one to use that day on its own, I wouldn't reach for this one. If you have dry skin and you're looking for an affordable drugstore foundation, this could be an option for you. Flower Beauty is about double the cost, so if you are on a budget and this one is a little bit out of your price range, even though it's still drugstore, you could try this one because I think it could work for dry skin for a lot of people. All right, so these next 4, number 6 through 10, I feel like I just need to show you this. I literally went back and forth about 15 times, crossing everything out, rearranging it in my head because it's just kind of arranging the ones that are just very mediocre in my mind. They're not like bad enough to be at the bottom of the list, but they also aren't good enough to make it in the top 5. They're just there. So number 6 is number 7. This is the number 7 Lift and Illuminate foundation. So my thing with this one is that it doesn't look bad, it doesn't look great on my skin, and I just have other drugstore options that I would much rather put on my face. I didn't find something that I love to mix this with. When I mix foundations, I always look for something that is the best of both worlds. So if I have a foundation that I really like the finish of, but it doesn't have enough coverage, then I'll mix in something that has more coverage, but that might be a little bit too makeup-y, so that when they mesh together, they just make like the perfect foundation. So when I do try and find a foundation combination, I want there to be something in each product that I like. In this one, I just don't find that there's enough in this one I like to make it a good mixing product either. So I don't like it on its own enough, and I don't like it mixed in, so I'm just kind of, it's just mediocre. Number 7 is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. This one I also thought was gonna rank a little bit higher. Same thing, I just feel like there are other foundations that have the similar finish, luminous, look like skin, and I just like them more on my skin. This one does have a pretty finish, but it almost reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me in the sense that it kind of slides around again a little bit too much. This one can also look a little bit streaky. I did like it mixed in with NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia, but I still get the kind of streaks going. The finished product looks good once I got it kind of worked in and blended out. It just takes a while because this one is more streaky. Again, if you're going for something luminous, just go for the Flower Beauty. So number 8, when I first put this on, I thought I was gonna love this one just the way that it first looked on my skin. This is the Iliad True Skin Serum Foundation. It looked very natural, very skin-like. The thing I really don't like about this is that throughout the day, it friggin' soaks up your oils. It just makes my skin look old, too dry. If you have oily skin, you might like this one because it really does soak up those oils. There are a lot of oils in this foundation. It's supposed to be like foundation and skincare kind of thing in one, but it has jojoba oil in it, and one of the things I've tried during this series did break me out, so I'm trying to figure out if it was this or the Maybelline Fit Me. That's kind of what I've narrowed it down to, is that one of these ones makes me break out. I have a feeling it's this one because, like I said in that video, jojoba oil and my skin do not agree. I like how lightweight this is. It does look really beautiful when you first put it on, but just on my skin, it just looks progressively shitty throughout the day. This one is pricey too, so for me, it's just definitely not something that I would recommend for that price point. So number 9, if there is one foundation out of this whole thing, I have just been wanting so badly to work out because I feel like it's so close, is the LA Girl Pro Matte HD foundation. I tried mixing this in the drugstore video I just did. I've tried wearing this literally about 6 different times, and sometimes it's so bad to the point where I just wipe off my full face of makeup. Like I can't even wear it throughout the day because it is such a tricky foundation for me. I don't even know how to like collect my thoughts with this one because there's 10 different things going on with this one that are just a little bit bizarre. If you haven't seen the full review, I would go watch this one because it's basically everything that happened in that video. So I mixed the shade Ivory with a darker shade in that video, and I got so patchy looking. Some of you guys thought it could have been the mixing that was causing that. It definitely wasn't, because since then, since that shade was way too dark and oxidized a shit ton, I've only been using the shade Ivory because it does darken a little bit. So I find that if I use this shade alone or mixed in with stuff, it still oxidizes. So Ivory is my closest shade in this one, and I still get the patchiness. So it's not just mixing it. There's something about this one that just gets so patchy on me. I don't think I've ever been so conflicted on like the finish of this, because in a weird way, it looks good because it's so lightweight and gives you that, it almost gives you like the airbrush look of the Catrice HD Coverage drops. But then when you look up close, it almost looks like chalky or something. I don't know. I want this one to work so bad, so that's why this one is so far down, but I do think that a lot of people will like this one. I think this is just not one for my skin type. If you have oilier skin, you might really like this one. I think this is the first matte foundation out of all these that we're talking about. So if you like a matte finish, because of the price point, I think it could be worth giving a go. Maybe you won't have the weird issues that I do with this one, because I haven't heard, I don't think anyone else have these issues, so it could just be my weird skin type of thing. Literally under every combination I tried with this, I just wrote horrible. Like, I could not find a combination that looked good with this one. All right, so number 10 is the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer. And the reason why this one is so low is because it looks like a friggin' grease ball. And as someone who has dry skin and obviously likes very dewy, luminous products, that's a lot to say because I'm usually all about the glow. This just looks oily. It's like a shittier version of the IT Cosmetics CC Illumination, which I love that one. This is not full coverage in my opinion. If you liked kind of the whole idea of this, I would just go with their CC Illumination. There's no reason, especially if you already own that product, to get this one. I just think don't even go here with this one. Overall, this one is a no for me because of how oily and greasy this one looks. And also, apparently they had this foundation in the past and stopped carrying it and then did like a relaunch or something, but a bunch of you said that this foundation has been out for like years, even though they just did this whole push this last year. I don't know if they changed the formula, but this version I do not like. So this next one is just one that I do not understand the hype. Number 11 is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is a lot of people's like go-to holy grail foundation. Just goes to show how differently foundation can wear on different people. For me, this one is so average that there is no way in hell I would pay $64 for the full size of this. I mean, this mini thing was in the $40 range, and I wouldn't even buy this for 10 bucks. I really don't like that it's called Luminous Silk because on my skin, it barely looks like a satin finish. It almost dries down to more of like a satin matte, and I just don't find it to be super flattering. It's medium coverage. This one definitely doesn't make my skin look as bad as the next two I'm gonna mention, but overall, it's just, for the price and how it sits on my skin, is just like definition of average foundation for me. This is like perfect example of one that isn't really even worth it for me to mix because there's nothing in this that I particularly like. I just feel like I'm kind of missing something with this one. I don't see it, and I want to see it. It just on my skin, I don't see it. So number 12, kind of same situation. It doesn't look particularly horrible on my skin like the Luminous Silk. It just doesn't look good enough on its own or mixed in to where I would want to reach for this. This is the Cargo Foundation in a Bag. I love the concept of this. I really wish I liked the inside product more. Since the shade of this is way too dark, I did try applying it, not with the intentions of wearing the full day, just to apply it to see how it looked right at the beginning on its own and just get more of a feel for how it looks on its own. And it doesn't look bad. It just is kind of more light to medium coverage. I do like how lightweight it feels. There's just nothing about this that I'm like, yes, you need this, which is why it is where it is in the ranking. But again, all those middle ones are kind of like interchangeable during this series for me. All right, so now 13, 14, 15 are ones that just don't look good on my skin at all, and I don't like the formula of. Number 13 is the Cover FX Power Play Foundation. This has such a kick-ass shade range that I wish this was a good formula, but it just is so cakey looking. It looks so makeupy on my skin. And I tried mixing this in with every possible smoothing skin looking foundation that I have, like Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo, CYO Life Proof, NARS Ultra Radiant, and everything that I mixed this with, the heaviness still came through from this product. The Cover FX actually looked really good at first, mixed in with the Dermablend Smooth Liquid Camo, but after about 3 hours, it just started looking so heavy, so cakey, and I feel like that's just the theme with this one. This reminds me of the way Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation sits on my skin. If you have had similar experiences with that one, I definitely would not recommend getting this foundation. I did try using this with the Smashbox primer oil underneath because sometimes this can really help to kind of thin out and just smooth out thicker, cakier foundations. But the texture of the cakiness of this one still came through. Like, it just looked like I had makeup sitting on top of my skin. Overall, don't like the formula of this one. These last two are really easy for me to rank because I feel like they've been at the bottom this whole time, but this is the Dior Skin Forever Undercover. Again, I didn't buy the full size in this one, and I'm really, really glad I didn't because I really don't like this foundation. The big thing I don't like about this is that it just comes off your face. If you guys saw it in the check-in at the end of the night, I had a literal like handprint where you could literally see a distinct line from where my hand was resting on my face. It literally looked like if you took like a makeup wipe and wiped off part of my foundation, that's what it looked like. That aside, it just looks heavy. It clings. Like, this is one that just makes my skin look really old. It settles into my lines. I definitely would not recommend this for more mature skin. If you have any kind of lines or anything, this one is just gonna stick in there. It's very dry. This is a matte foundation, so between these two, I would reach for this one over this one for sure. I also don't love how fragrance this is. Dior foundations are always very fragrance, but if you have sensitive skin, just be aware of that. All right, so worst foundation out of 15 during the series, in my opinion, is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-hour breathable foundation. This is like definition of a pointless foundation. Now that I don't have nearly as much to cover up on my skin, I have no problem with lighter coverage foundations if they look like skin. If a foundation like this has sheer, this has very sheer coverage. If a foundation has such light coverage like this, but looks like makeup, then there's literally no point, in my opinion, to wear this or buy this because you might as well just not wear makeup or wear something that looks like skin but that has lighter coverage. I love the applicator on this. The applicator this is something special. There's something about this that feels so nice and soft going on, but the actual product sucks. There are so much better sheer tinted moisturizer kind of products that will give you the same kind of coverage but that look so much better on the skin. Jouer Skin Tint is the one that comes to mind. A bunch of you said that you do think they replace this for the red top one, which I'm so bummed about because the lasting finish with the red top is 50 billion times better than this one. It has great coverage. It looks beautiful. It has like a gel-like finish. It just is like a whole other ball game. So if they really did replace this with that, then that's a huge downgrade. All right, so those are all 15 foundations from this series ranked. I'm excited that we had a couple that are like standout good, but we definitely had a lot of crappy ones too. If you love one of the ones that ranked low, then that's great. We all have different opinions. I'm glad it worked out for you. These are just my experiences with foundations on my skin. So if you enjoyed season 5 of 15 Days of Foundation and this wrap-up video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I'm actually filming, editing, and uploading this all on the same day today, which I never do. I'm gonna go edit this. All the foundations I talked about are linked down below in the description box, along with the review videos right below them. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.